Hi everybody and welcome to Anatomy 5, Human Biology at Monterey Peninsula College. My name is Megan Knoll and I am your instructor for this class. I am your instructor, your grader, the person you send emails to when you're overwhelmed, etc. Everything you need for this course will work through me, so I wanted to give you a chance before the class started to get set up to be as successful as possible before we really jump into everything. We have a little less than 2 weeks before the class starts, so I want to make sure you understand where to find assignments, where to find lectures, etc., and how to access the book, which is going to be a really important part of this class, and the online management system that goes with it. Okay, so if you are a veteran student of MPC, you know this website well. If you've never been at MPC before, this will be a nice fun introduction that you may have already gone through with all of your orientations, etc. But the place to start for everything for our summer classes is in Lobo Apps. So go make sure bookmark mpc.edu and maybe even bookmark Lobo Apps like I do. I work at 2 different schools, so I have the high school schedule that I work links that I work with, and then also my MPC links right close. Anyway, okay, so when you click on Lobo Apps, once you have logged in, if you don't have a login, please talk to IT as soon as possible. Since we are doing this class virtually, completely virtually, it's going to be essential that you have online access, which you still have about 2 weeks to talk to them and make sure everything's running smoothly. It is also because we are doing this during a quarantine time. This is being recorded in the time of COVID. We won't be able to have any in-person meetings. Even if it weren't COVID, we wouldn't either because I'm actually in LA, so that's where I live. I used to live in Monterey, and then I moved, and I still teach virtually for MPC. Fun stuff. Okay, so here we are. We're in Lobo Apps. What do we do now? Everything you're going to need to do for our course happens first through Canvas. Okay, so Lobo Apps, Canvas. Excellent. Okay, so once you've logged into Lobo Apps, you have access to Canvas. And when you once you click on Canvas, it shows you all of the courses you either have taken or are currently taking. They all have their own little page. Now, if depending on what class you're in, you may have teachers who do or professors who do or don't use this system, but I've always used it. You can see I've taught anatomy many times now. I've taught some biology, I've taught some health, etc. And then there's this thing I've never clicked on. But our class is going to be the pink one, apparently, where to help kind of distinguish it from any other classes you've taught, it also has a background that's from Leonardo da Vinci's anatomy studies, because not only did he invent many things and paint the Mona Lisa, he was also very interested in human biology. And you may have seen that Vitruvian Man picture where there's a naked dude with his hands all up and his feet are spread. What Leonardo da Vinci was actually doing was showing what's called the I don't know what it's called. But anyway, he's looking at how there's some perfect associations in human anatomy that we'll talk about, such as your wingspan, or from fingertip to fingertip, is usually the exact same as your height. So during this time of social distancing, if you're like, am I really 6 feet away from somebody? If you can hold out your hand and they can hold out their hand and they don't touch, you're probably about you're almost 6 feet away. So like I'm 5'6", so if I put out my hand to someone who's also 5'6", when we meet, our faces are 5'6" away from each other, about close enough. So just that's a nice social distance piece. Anyway, moving on. So let's talk about this. Moving into our course. So click on the logo for our class, the icon for our class, and you'll get to this home page. Okay, this is also going to be a very important place to start for our class. Everything you'll need for this class is going to be set up as modules that tell you what's going to be due and when, and there'll be links to lectures that I'm recording. Every test that we take will be directly pulled. The material is going to be directly pulled from lectures. I know in a lot of courses that's not always the case, but I'm very diligent to make sure it's not a surprise what's going to be on a test. If you pay attention to lectures, if you do the assignments, you'll do fine on the test, okay? What else do you need to know before the class starts? The syllabus is still being worked on. You'll see right now this course is not published as I record this, but once you see the video, it will be published so that you can access everything and start looking at the book. So if you were to click this within this welcome module, it's just going to take you basically to everything that I'm telling you right now, okay? And it'll have a link to this video. This video is also being sent to you through email, okay? And it is also going to have a link to how you can go about getting the book for this class, okay? So you can get it through Follett's, the bookstore. You can get it through Amazon or something, but that gets a little dicey if you're getting a used textbook. The way to get the best value is actually if you go through this link right here, the McGraw-Hill Connect link, okay? So McGraw-Hill is the publisher we're using. And once you click this link, it's going to take you to an interactive system where, like, I've already connected the course, and so it's going to ask you to log in and register. If you've already bought the book through the bookstore, it'll have a code for you to use. If you haven't yet, this will be where you can go through and buy the book. Okay, and I'm going to include a link to their official video that shows you exactly how to do this, so it's not a scary mystery. If you're borrowing someone's book from another, like, let's say your sister took this class 2 years ago or whatever, you might have to purchase a code. I'm not sure, but if you have problems, let me know and we will figure it out. Okay. The point being that once you are connected, the reason why we do this is because all of the material that gets graded goes through this site. Okay. Because then we have more security. We have, we can pull from their figures, etc. So it's not just memes all the time. They'll be there sometimes, but there's actual scientific figures too. So when you get here, all of your assignments are going to be organized by week and by subject. Now, I do want to point out this course is an 8-week class for a class that's normally 15 weeks. So it's basically cutting that class time length in half, but it's not cutting the material. This isn't like when you take, I don't know, a high school, summer school class because you know it's going to be easier to take in the summer. This is taking a class and cutting the time that we get to teach it in half and then smushing it all into 8 weeks instead. Okay, so there is a lot of memorization in this class. If you've taken anatomy and physiology before, you know, yeah, we're going to memorize 200 bones. Not just the bones, but the little bumps on the bones, because that's important. It actually very much is. And then it just goes from there, okay? So just be prepared for that. If you are someone who memorizes well with flashcards, invest in flashcards. It is also a lot better for your brain to write things down than it is to use a laptop for taking notes, so I highly recommend that. But this is not the time or the place to talk about that. Okay, so we've talked about I'm your instructor. Talk to me if you have any issues or questions. We've talked about Canvas. We've talked about the textbook. All right, so that's all I need to tell you right now. There will be plenty more time for me to babble at you soon. And so I look forward to us starting in about a little bit less than 2 weeks. So everybody stay healthy and see you soon. Bye.